I saw this thread on Reddit about this scene, and I realized I hadn't discussed it, so I want to discuss it. And this is when Janelle's talking about how Cody and Robyn tend to revise history about what they paid for and what they didn't. And then they cut to Robyn doing her typical, I'm so confused. I don't understand. I contributed so much to this family in the beginning, which is really interesting that she doesn't say, I've always contributed so much to this family, or I've contributed equally to the family. She just says that she contributed a lot in the beginning, and people are rightfully calling her out because they're saying, what are you talking about? Now, I will always point out that a majority of their money for a big section of time was the TV money, and she was 1/5 of the cast. Although I'll also say that of the cast, she, other than talking during interviews about stuff she didn't know about, like she would always say like, oh, how challenging it was for this or that to have happened. And it would be stuff that happened before she was there. And so I was always like, why is she talking? Because let's hear from the people who were there. But other than talking over everybody in the interviews, she was always the least storyline except season 1. I think in season 1, she saw herself as the star of the show. And she really thought that Sister Wives was going to be a show about how she came in and saved the family, how she finally completed it, how she was the perfect sister wife. And everyone was going to be like, wow, Robyn is the best. And I think that's how Cody felt. And I think that maybe the production did. But I think very quickly she realized like, oh, people kind of noticed that she's not doing anything. Because she came in and she was like, well, I'm going to help take care of the kids. But like one time we would see the kids come over to her house, and that was kind of it. And I think, she wasn't living with the family. And I think people very, very quickly sniffed out that she was not so great. And I think Robyn started pulling back from filming. And there's a lot of evidence of that. Like when Dayton got his eye hurt, they didn't even address it until right when he got the surgery. And same when Solomon got his teeth fixed. We heard about it in a single episode the morning it happened. And then that was it. They never really explained what happened or anything. And I think she very quickly figured out like she could talk about what other people were doing, but she wasn't going to talk about herself. So she didn't even really contribute, and she still doesn't contribute that much to actual filming. And I think she's kind of saying in the beginning, because I think what she means is all of her money went into the family fund, but I think she has always pulled disproportionately out because first of all, she had live-in help the entire run of the show, basically from Vegas on. First, her sister lived with her, then her niece lived with her as a nanny. And then when they moved to Flagstaff, she had an outside help nanny. Now, they never clarified how much was paid or who did this or that, but I'm sure she was, at the very least, they were living there for free. Now, at one point, Annie did live with Christine, but that was much, much later. And I don't even remember how long she was there, but nothing compared to what Robyn did. And, then we had, maybe she considers that the business was her contribution, but we all know that the business was a gigantic money pit that everybody had to work around. And other than My Sister Wives Closet, which even that, all she did was design, and the hardest job was the customer service and the shipping. And Mary did that. They talk about how that was Mary's thing. And then Janelle did the money, which is another hard thing. And I don't remember what Christine did. There was something in there. But, Robyn really was like, well, I'll make designs, which was the absolute worst part of the whole thing. Because not only were the designs ugly, they were also expensive because when you make designs for manufacturing, there's certain choices you make that help to keep the cost down. Like initially they were having all their designs handmade by a custom jeweler who owned a jewelry store, which is literally the most expensive way to do it. Like a lot of jewelers in the industry who actually keep prices down, they buy findings, which is the parts of jewelry from big places like Stoller or different places that sell findings. And then you design your jewelry using those pieces so that you can just buy them. Anyway, I'm getting off track, but my point is that she's always been a money pit. Now, I think she knows that, but I think she's always justified it because she was Cody's true love, or she did this or she did that. I think she always just saw herself as getting what she was due to her, even if it wasn't proportional. So anyway, those are just my thoughts.